Hello everyone, Dr. Alan Mandell here. Welcome back to my channel, Science of Healing. You wake up in the morning, swing your legs out of bed, and instead of stiffness, brain fog, and fatigue, you feel steady, clear, and energized. Your joints move more freely, your balance feels stronger, your mind feels sharper. Now here's the surprising part. For millions of seniors, the missing link behind aging faster than expected isn't just genetics. It's a silent deficiency in one powerful nutrient, vitamin D. And according to research from organizations like the National Institutes of Health and the Endocrine Society, more than half of adults over 60 are deficient in this critical vitamin, often without knowing it. Today, you're going to discover why vitamin D is being called the anti-aging vitamin seniors must take daily, the science behind its remarkable benefits, and exactly how to use it safely in your everyday life. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn could help protect your bones, your brain, your heart, and even your independence. Why vitamin D is called the anti-aging vitamin. Let's start with the truth most people don't realize. Vitamin D is not just a vitamin. It acts like a hormone in your body, controlling hundreds of biological processes that determine how fast you age. As we get older, our skin produces less vitamin D from sunlight. Our kidneys convert less of it into its active form, and we spend more time indoors. That combination creates the perfect storm for deficiency. Imagine waking up one morning, looking in the mirror, and realizing that the fatigue you feel, the weakness in your muscles, the stiffness in your bones, may not be caused by aging at all, but by a silent deficiency that has been draining your strength for years without you even knowing it. Right now, millions of seniors across the world are walking around with dangerously low levels of one essential nutrient. And according to the National Institutes of Health, this hidden deficiency affects more than half of adults over the age of 60, quietly accelerating the aging process from the inside out. Doctors call it one of the most overlooked health threats in older adults, not because it is rare, but because its symptoms are so subtle that people mistake them for normal aging, accepting weakness, fatigue, and memory problems as an inevitable part of getting older, when in many cases they are actually warning signs of a body running low on a critical life-sustaining vitamin. That vitamin is vitamin D, and scientists now understand that it is far more than just a nutrient for bones. It acts like a powerful hormone that influences more than 2,000 genes in the human body, controlling everything from muscle strength and immune defense to brain function and cellular repair. Researchers have discovered that when vitamin D levels fall, the body begins to age faster at a biological level, weakening bones, slowing metabolism, increasing inflammation, and reducing the body's ability to heal itself after injury or illness, creating a domino effect that can lead to chronic disease and loss of independence. What makes this situation even more alarming is that vitamin D deficiency often develops silently, without dramatic symptoms in the early stages, allowing damage to accumulate gradually until a serious event occurs, such as a fall, a fracture, or a sudden decline in physical strength that seems to come out of nowhere. In fact, studies show that low vitamin D levels significantly increase the risk of developing osteoporosis, a condition in which bones become thin, brittle, and fragile, making even a minor fall potentially life-changing or life-threatening for an older adult. Consider this shocking reality. After a hip fracture, nearly 1 in 3 seniors will never regain their previous level of independence, and many will require long-term assistance with daily activities, not because they lacked willpower or determination, but because their bones were quietly weakening for years due to insufficient vitamin D. Scientists have also found that vitamin D deficiency is strongly linked to muscle weakness, particularly in the large muscles of the legs, the very muscles responsible for balance and stability, which means that a simple nutrient shortage can increase the risk of falling, one of the leading causes of injury and hospitalization among older adults worldwide. But the impact does not stop with bones and muscles. It extends deep into the brain, where vitamin D receptors are found in regions responsible for memory, mood, and decision making, revealing that this nutrient plays a direct role in keeping the mind sharp and resilient as we age. Researchers have observed that individuals with low vitamin D levels are more likely to experience cognitive decline and memory problems, and long-term deficiency has been associated with an increased risk of developing neurodegenerative conditions, such as Alzheimer's disease, a disease that slowly erodes memory, personality, and independence. Imagine the fear of forgetting familiar faces, losing the ability to manage daily tasks, or feeling your mental clarity slip away, and then realizing that one of the contributing factors may be something as simple and preventable as a vitamin deficiency. This is why health experts from organizations like the Endocrine Society emphasize the importance of monitoring vitamin D levels in older adults, especially those who spend most of their time indoors, live in areas with limited sunlight, or have medical conditions that interfere with nutrient absorption. As we age, the body's ability to produce vitamin D from sunlight declines dramatically, sometimes by as much as 75%, meaning that even regular exposure to the sun may not generate enough of this vital nutrient to meet the body's needs, leaving seniors vulnerable to deficiency despite their best efforts to stay healthy. Adding to the problem, the kidneys and liver, organs responsible for converting vitamin D into its active form, often become less efficient with age, further reducing the amount of usable vitamin D circulating in the bloodstream and increasing the risk of chronic health issues. This silent decline can manifest as persistent fatigue, aching joints, frequent infections, slow wound healing, and a general sense of weakness that many people attribute to aging, never realizing that their body is simply lacking the raw materials it needs to function properly. One large-scale study found that seniors with adequate vitamin D levels were significantly less likely to experience falls, fractures, and hospitalizations compared to those with low levels, demonstrating that maintaining proper vitamin D status can have a profound impact on longevity and quality of life. Even more compelling, research has shown that correcting vitamin D deficiency can lead to noticeable improvements in strength, balance, and energy within a matter of weeks, allowing older adults to regain confidence in their movements and maintain independence longer. This is why many doctors now consider vitamin D not just a supplement, but a cornerstone of healthy aging, a simple yet powerful tool that supports the body's natural defenses against the wear and tear of time. The truth is, aging does not have to mean becoming weaker, slower, or more fragile. In many cases, those changes are driven by preventable deficiencies that can be identified and corrected before serious damage occurs. Imagine the peace of mind that comes from knowing your bones are strong, your muscles are stable, and your mind is clear, not because of luck or genetics, but because you are giving your body the nutrients it needs to thrive. This is the message doctors want every senior to hear. Do not ignore the quiet signals your body sends, because what feels like normal aging could be a warning sign of a deficiency that is slowly undermining your health. And the most powerful part of this story is that the solution is often simple, accessible, and affordable, requiring nothing more than awareness, testing, and consistent daily support to restore balance and protect the body against the hidden dangers of deficiency. Because the difference between aging with strength and aging with struggle may come down to one small nutrient working silently behind the scenes, helping your body stay resilient, your mind stay sharp, and your independence stay intact for years to come. What if the difference between walking confidently across a room and struggling to rise from a chair, between remembering a loved one's name and searching desperately for the right word, came down to one simple nutrient silently working inside your body every single day? Right now, scientists are uncovering a powerful truth that is changing how doctors think about aging, strength, and memory. And that truth is this: maintaining healthy levels of vitamin D may be one of the most important steps a senior can take to protect their bones, strengthen their muscles, and preserve the sharpness of their mind. For decades, vitamin D was known mainly as the bone vitamin, but research from the National Institutes of Health has revealed something far more remarkable. This nutrient acts like a master switch inside the body, activating systems that control movement, balance, and brain function. Imagine your bones as the steel framework of a building designed to support your weight and protect your organs. Yet without vitamin D, that framework slowly weakens, becoming thinner, more fragile, and more vulnerable to sudden collapse. This is exactly what happens in osteoporosis, a condition that affects millions of older adults and is responsible for countless fractures every single year, many of which occur after what seemed like a harmless slip or stumble. Here is the frightening reality. A broken hip is not just a painful injury. It is often the beginning of a life-altering decline, because nearly half of seniors who suffer a hip fracture never return to their previous level of independence, and some never walk again without assistance. But scientists have discovered that adequate vitamin D levels dramatically improve the body's ability to absorb calcium, the mineral that gives bones their strength, allowing the skeleton to remain dense, resilient, and capable of supporting an active lifestyle well into later years. Think about the simple act of climbing stairs, carrying groceries, or getting out of bed in the morning. These movements depend on strong bones working together with powerful muscles, yet both systems rely heavily on vitamin D to function properly. When vitamin D levels drop, muscles begin to lose strength, especially in the legs and hips, the very muscles responsible for keeping you upright and steady. And this weakness can develop so gradually that many people do not notice it until their balance suddenly fails. Falls are not random accidents. They are often the predictable result of weakened muscles and slower reaction times, and research shows that seniors with low vitamin D levels are significantly more likely to fall than those with adequate levels. One clinical trial found that improving vitamin D status reduced fall risk by up to 30%, a difference that can mean the boundary between independence and hospitalization, between confidence and fear. Picture the moment when someone hesitates before stepping off a curb, unsure whether their legs will hold them steady, and then imagine the relief of moving with confidence again, knowing your body is strong enough to support you. This is the hidden power of vitamin D, not just adding years to life, but adding strength to those years. Yet the story does not end with bones and muscles, because vitamin D also plays a crucial role in protecting the brain, the organ that controls every thought, memory, and decision you make. Inside the brain, scientists have identified specialized receptors designed specifically to respond to vitamin D, proving that this nutrient is directly involved in maintaining cognitive health and mental clarity. When vitamin D levels are sufficient, nerve cells communicate more efficiently, inflammation in the brain is reduced, and new neural connections are formed, helping the mind stay sharp and adaptable even as the years pass. But when levels fall too low, the brain becomes more vulnerable to damage, and the risk of memory problems begins to rise. Researchers have found that individuals with chronic vitamin D deficiency are more likely to experience confusion, slower thinking, and difficulty concentrating, symptoms that many people mistakenly accept as a normal part of aging. Even more concerning, long-term deficiency has been linked to an increased risk of developing Alzheimer's disease, a devastating condition that slowly erases memories, independence, and identity. Imagine the heartbreak of forgetting cherished moments, losing track of daily routines, or feeling your mental clarity fade, and then consider the possibility that maintaining proper vitamin D levels could help reduce that risk. Scientists believe vitamin D protects brain cells by reducing harmful inflammation and supporting the production of chemicals that help neurons survive and communicate, creating a protective shield against cognitive decline. This protective effect becomes especially important with age, when the brain is naturally more susceptible to damage from oxidative stress and chronic inflammation. And here is something truly remarkable. Studies show that seniors who maintain healthy vitamin D levels often perform better on memory and attention tests compared to those who are deficient, demonstrating that this nutrient plays a measurable role in preserving mental function. Think about the confidence that comes from remembering appointments, recognizing faces, and managing daily tasks without confusion, and how that confidence contributes to a sense of independence and dignity. The connection between vitamin D and physical strength is equally powerful because muscles require this nutrient to contract properly and generate force, allowing you to walk, stand, and move with stability. Without enough vitamin D, muscle fibers become weaker and less responsive, making simple activities feel exhausting and increasing the risk of injury during everyday movements. This is why many seniors who correct a vitamin D deficiency report feeling stronger, more energetic, and more stable within a short period of time, often noticing improvements in balance and endurance that they had not experienced in years. Doctors are increasingly recognizing that maintaining optimal vitamin D levels is not just about preventing disease. It is about preserving the ability to live independently, to move freely, and to enjoy life without constant fear of falling or forgetting. And perhaps the most powerful message of all is this: the decline in strength, balance, and memory that many people assume is inevitable may, in some cases, be slowed or even partially reversed by addressing a simple nutritional deficiency. Because inside every strong step, every steady movement, and every clear thought, there is a complex network of biological processes working together. And vitamin D is one of the key elements that keeps that network functioning smoothly. So the next time you stand up from a chair, take a walk outside, or recall a precious memory, remember that these abilities are not just gifts of youth, but reflections of the nutrients supporting your body from within. And by maintaining healthy vitamin D levels, you may be giving yourself one of the greatest advantages in the journey of aging: the power to stay strong, stay steady, and stay mentally sharp for as long as possible. What if the secret to protecting your heart, strengthening your immune system, and extending your healthy years was not hidden in an expensive treatment or a complicated medical procedure, but in a simple daily habit that takes less than 10 seconds to follow? Every morning, millions of seniors swallow a small capsule of vitamin D, often without realizing that this tiny action may be one of the most powerful defenses against disease, disability, and premature aging, and researchers from the American Heart Association have warned that low vitamin D levels are closely linked to increased risk of heart disease, one of the leading causes of death among older adults worldwide. The heart is a tireless muscle that beats more than 100,000 times every single day, pumping life-sustaining blood through a network of vessels that stretch for thousands of miles inside the human body. Yet this remarkable system depends on proper nutrient balance to function smoothly, and when vitamin D levels fall too low, the risk of high blood pressure and inflammation begins to rise. Scientists have discovered that vitamin D helps regulate the contraction and relaxation of blood vessels, allowing them to expand when needed and maintain healthy circulation. But without enough of this nutrient, arteries can become stiff and less flexible, forcing the heart to work harder with every beat. Imagine driving a car with clogged fuel lines where the engine must strain to push fuel through narrow passages, and now imagine your heart facing the same struggle as it tries to pump blood through vessels that have lost their elasticity due to chronic inflammation and nutrient deficiency. This is why maintaining proper vitamin D levels is increasingly recognized as a critical step in protecting cardiovascular health, because strong circulation means oxygen reaches every organ, every muscle, and every cell, keeping the body energized and resilient. But the benefits of this daily habit extend far beyond the heart, reaching deep into the immune system, the body's natural defense force against infections, viruses, and harmful bacteria that constantly attempt to invade. Inside the immune system, vitamin D acts like a commander directing troops, helping immune cells recognize dangerous pathogens and respond quickly before illness takes hold. And research from the World Health Organization has highlighted the importance of maintaining adequate vitamin D levels to support immune resilience, particularly in older adults whose defenses naturally weaken with age. When vitamin D levels are sufficient, immune cells communicate more effectively, inflammation is kept under control, and the body can respond to threats with precision. But when deficiency develops, the immune system becomes sluggish and disorganized, allowing infections to linger longer and recoveries to take more time. Consider how a simple cold can feel overwhelming in later years, draining energy for days or even weeks. And then imagine the difference when the immune system is properly supported, responding quickly and efficiently to restore health. This is not just theory, it is supported by clinical evidence showing that individuals with adequate vitamin D levels often experience fewer respiratory infections and faster recovery times compared to those who are deficient. And yet, despite these powerful benefits, many seniors remain unaware of how easy it is to incorporate vitamin D into daily life in a safe and effective way. The recommended daily intake for most older adults ranges between 800 and 2,000 international units, a modest amount that can be obtained through supplements, sunlight exposure, and certain nutrient-rich foods. But consistency is the key factor that determines success. Think of vitamin D like fuel for a car. Adding a small amount regularly keeps the engine running smoothly, while neglecting it for long periods can lead to breakdowns that require costly repairs. Doctors emphasize taking vitamin D with meals that contain healthy fats such as eggs, yogurt, or fish, because this nutrient is fat-soluble, meaning it is absorbed more efficiently when consumed alongside dietary fat, allowing the body to make full use of every dose. Another powerful source of vitamin D is sunlight, the natural trigger that allows the skin to produce this vital nutrient, and just 15 to 30 minutes of moderate sun exposure on the arms or face can stimulate production in many individuals, although aging skin becomes less efficient at this process over time. This is why supplements often become necessary as we grow older, not as a replacement for healthy living, but as a reliable way to maintain stable nutrient levels when natural production declines. However, experts caution that more is not always better, because extremely high doses of vitamin D can lead to excessive calcium buildup in the blood, placing stress on the kidneys and potentially causing serious complications. This is why responsible use is essential, guided by medical advice and, when possible, confirmed through a simple blood test that measures vitamin D levels and ensures they remain within a safe range. Imagine the peace of mind that comes from knowing your body is receiving exactly what it needs, not too little and not too much, but the precise balance required for optimal health. Beyond supplements and sunlight, everyday foods can also contribute to healthy vitamin D levels, including fatty fish like salmon and sardines, egg yolks, fortified dairy products, and mushrooms exposed to ultraviolet light, all of which provide small but meaningful amounts of this essential nutrient. Incorporating these foods into regular meals transforms nutrition from a passive routine into an active strategy for longevity, turning breakfast, lunch, and dinner into opportunities to strengthen the body from within. This daily routine may seem simple, almost ordinary, yet its impact can be extraordinary. because small habits repeated consistently over time have the power to shape the future of your health. Consider the difference between two individuals of the same age, one who maintains healthy vitamin D levels and another who remains deficient, and imagine how their paths may diverge over the years, one preserving strength, balance, and resilience, while the other faces increasing fatigue, illness, and vulnerability. The choice between those outcomes is often determined not by genetics or luck, but by awareness and action, by recognizing the importance of a single nutrient and committing to support the body every day. Doctors around the world are now urging older adults to view vitamin D not as an optional supplement, but as a foundational element of preventive care, a simple measure that can reduce the risk of chronic disease and improve overall quality of life. Because aging is not just about adding years to the calendar. It is about preserving the energy to enjoy those years, the strength to remain independent, and the resilience to face life's challenges with confidence. And sometimes the most powerful step toward that future begins with something as small as a daily dose of vitamin D, taken consistently, thoughtfully, and responsibly, protecting the heart, strengthening the immune system, and supporting the body's ability to thrive long after the candles on the birthday cake have multiplied.